Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Lynn from L&J Goods. We're so happy to have you here today. Welcome. We are filming from our new studio setup, so welcome in. We're so glad you are here. Today, we're going to work on a little old house that JR built that needs some loving touches, some of that vintage inspired look that we love. So we're going to create some of that with some textures and cracking paste and paint and all kinds of good stuff and glazes to make this look like a little old house. And yeah, I'm kind of excited about it. The story behind it is that it was a dollhouse that was, I don't know, it was a weird kind of a thing that it was an older wood dollhouse, but the front panel and the back panel completely removed, if I remember right, JR?
Right.
Remember that? I don't know what the story was with this dollhouse. So he took like all the roof off and cut it down to size, and he took all of the wood clapboard and the sides. So he made me a little storage box for the cottage, but we want to give it our own special touches.
I didn't know it was a storage box.
Yes, of course that's what it was. So, but it was once a wooden. It was a wood dollhouse, but was it the front and the back that came off?
Well, it wasn't complete. It all had been wired and so on. So whoever did it just didn't finish it up, and
he took it all apart
took
anyway.
It all apart.
So anyway, Megan's here with us today. We have an audio technician that is going to be working on our audio this week and giving us some good advice. So hopefully with this new setup, at least for today, you'll be able to hear her. Say hi, Megan.
Hello.
Oh.
With such enthusiasm.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if anybody heard you.
How would we ever know? Well, we'll never know.
Touche. So glad you're here. I'm going to flip the camera down, and excuse me, I'm literally like, I feel so discombobulated.
Perfect word.
Because it is just an entirely new situation. So I brought everything that I think I need. I still don't have my drawers organized or any of that stuff, but so bear with me, okay? And don't forget to let us say hi. Or let us say hi.
Yeah.
Don't forget to say hi when you jump on. We would love to know. And what's the weather like where you are today? That we're very curious about, because I'm going to tell you something right now. We just out of the blue heard
our grandma almost blew away.
Grandma did almost blow away. So let's get ourselves started here. I was going to pre-paint. I added this little roof trim. It needs to be base coated. So we're going to get started with that, and then we'll put that aside. And then we're going to use some Pentart cracking paste, which is one of my favorite things to add some really cool texture to your surface. So you see, already I'm like, what? Wait, I have everything in my bin that I need. So there's the fresco. We've got some Victorian lace. That's what I'm going to use today. Hi from Southwest Florida. Woo! Are things warming up there?
Peggy says it's sunny in 74 where she is.
Oh my. Mary Jo texted last night regarding the Bills losing to Kansas City
I
Chiefs.
didn't think we were going to talk about that today.
Well, you know.
Let's let people have a day of mourning.
A day of mourning, yes.
Your mother got interested in the last 5 minutes.
I did. It was very exciting.
I didn't watch 1 minute. I just kept refreshing my screen because I'm codependent with my poor son, who I know was having so much anxiety. And with the whole city. It would have been nice.
So this is Fresco. It's a wonderful little powdered texturizing medium that I can mix right into my paint. And it just depends on how much how much texture you want. And again, you have to forgive me. I'm truly getting used to like all the camera angles.
Yeah, the light's a little. Can I turn these lights on?
No,
above you.
no, because that was awful. I'm just
Seems a little
casting.
dim.
I understand. I'm casting a shadow like with this, but
Melissa, yes, I saw that. They just had an earthquake today. Was it crazy? And Mary Casey had a fire hazard warning in Chicago due to the winds. Yeah, we have like
that is so bananas.
65-mile-an-hour winds here. It's crazy here too.
All right. So yeah, we're just, you got to bear with us. We are just getting used to like all of our lighting situation and everything, but we're working that out with Carter. He's got a couple of additional ideas for us. So when you're using this texture medium, you do want to, I just kind of dab it on. I don't brush it out too much because if you brush it out too much, you're going to get rid of that texture, right? But I do want this to look like it's just been old, yucky, gross layers and layers of paint and grunge on this old cottage for many, many years. And you know how that is with old houses, like paint job after paint job. They literally get so decayed and cracked and oh my goodness, which is what I love about an old house.
It is actually finally above freezing here too. Just super duper windy.
Okay,
Oh, excuse me, Miss Patrice is on a cruise.
Well, hello, Patrice, and you're watching Ellen J. Goods live?
Yes, I did see that it rained in Southern California, Vicki. That's great.
Oh, Vicki, does that, I would think that would be an issue then for like regarding mudslides and all of that, right? Especially with the vegetation gone.
Melissa slept through the earthquake, so that's a good sign.
Oh, listen to that wind. You're going to hear us lots of times say, oh, my. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead. I'm obviously not going to do this entire house in front of you today, but I do want to get it going. And we'll do the front side, and then I will work on the back. But essentially, I'm just adding this nice texture, and I'll be painting some other colors over it.
So is that a mixture that you're using right there, Mom?
Yeah, it's Fresco.
Okay.
Yep, Fresco and
I wasn't sure
paint.
if you were using cracking paste yet.
Oh.
It's just Fresco and Victorian lace she's using.
Exactly.
Judy.
So I'm gonna do just this one side, and then we'll.
You did not miss much, Carla. This is the first time we've been in the new studio today. We're just trying it out.
Well, it's going to be here. We just have to.
Yeah, she's just saying she feels like she missed so much, but you didn't miss anything because this is the first time we've been in here.
Mm-hmm.
But it will improve with time.
So see what I'm doing? I'm just getting this on here. I mean, think of how you could also use some modeling paste, and on a project like this, you could take just a plain little wood house and use modeling paste or this texture and do like a brick stencil or something like that.
We could give a tour of the new space once we have different microphones and learn how to walk around with them.
Yeah,
Mary.
for sure.
That's on our list.
Yes, for sure.
Future state.
Okay, so we've got this. The roof is going to get painted at some point. I might keep it nice and light, but until then, I'm just going to do the little top edges here. Yeah, I'm working at a higher counter also, so that's like a little strange for me. But I will have a lower also a lower table that I'll be able to access as well. So anyway, okay, so I'm going to put this aside. Where, I don't know. I guess I'll put back here. This entire surface is covered right now. And then we are going to work on this fella. Let me put my fresco aside and try to get you a little bit of a different angle. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing.
Oh, the new space is just right in our shop. It's kind of in front of where JR's office is, if you know where, if you've been here before. But once we get things situated, we can do like a shop tour, and then you'll kind of see how everything is.
So again, this was Fusion's Victorian lace mixed, whoops, see, I can't get used to my mixed with fresco. All right. I've had to do a little bit of a different angle here instead of straight overhead just because of the height of this project, and I just haven't worked out this overhead camera situation. So anyway, so we're going to use some cracking paste, and I'm going to use the cracking primer, but I want you to know
Don't even confuse them.
No, you can use, oh, see, I'm so out of, here's the cracking paste. You can use the universal cracking primer or any step 1 primer of your crackles. I don't know what else to say. What do you want me to say?
I think just say use universal.
Okay, universal.
Primer.
All right,
I just think crackles are very confusing already. That's all.
Okay.
And then when you see that container, it makes it seem like you're using the 2-step.
Okay. All right.
I tried to catch it before it cut on screen.
So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to get some of this primer. You have to have that primer on here before you apply the cracking paste. So I'm going to just put it randomly here and there.
Carla said, "Oh, I was afraid she'd be too far away from emergency supplies." No, she could still call out a locker and I can get to it.
It's just, you know what? I'm getting to the point now where it's like, look, I put my coffee cup in upside down this morning. So yeah, it's going to take me about like 3 minutes to forget what's in what locker back there.
Annie, we do not know the IOD release date for spring yet. When we know, you'll know. Well, when we are allowed to tell you, we'll tell you. But also, we actually don't know, and that's the truth. That is the real truth, isn't it, Mom?
It's actually, yes, that is the truth. We wouldn't lie to
Put
you.
me on a
ever.
lie detector right now.
We would never lie to you. Ever.
I would say, I know, but I can't tell you. But I actually don't know.
No. And it's better that way.
It is better so that I don't like slip up and tell you. It's good that they keep it that way.
It's hard to keep a secret, isn't it?
Because I do have a hard time telling a lie. And keeping a secret.
Wait a minute. Oh, boy.
Melissa's, and they know it. Melissa said, "I can tell the difference in the sound, no background noise from the shop." The funny part is, Melissa, we're farther up in the shop. We're closer to the front door than we used to be.
And the shop is closed today.
It is closed. We only film our lives now when the shop is closed.
Other than if it's on a Thursday when Melanie pops in, or if we happen to have a live release or something special.
That's pretty rare.
But
we always let you know. But
yeah, typically
Mondays and Wednesdays our shop is closed. But JR was just in and out the front door taking the mail, and we were closer to that than we usually are. Melissa, you know where JR's office is? Like where all the clothes used to hang? Can you picture that? I'll wait. I'm on a delay, I know that.
Okay, so that's good. And then what I'll do is we're going to dry this. And it'll leave a little glossy, shiny stuff happening. So that I'll know where to put that cracking paste. Now you're going to hear my blower.
So that's where it is. Yeah, at least now we're getting more natural light here.
Not today.
Well, still more than we had.
Yeah.
Because we have the lights from the front windows. So that's really nice. And I do think where we are, the sound is better because we're like in a little nook here.
Yeah.
It's also not freezing cold, which is nice. And this space will be just for Mom to film. We will not also be eating lunch here. We won't be having meetings here. Mom, can you have a separate space for just playing and creating, separate from where she has to film and photograph things, which she deserves. So it makes me really happy for her. She works really, really hard to make beautiful videos and beautiful things, and it deserves a really nice space, I think. Where she can have some, her mind can rest a little bit when she puts those things there. Really, seriously. When you want to display them, I guess I should say.
Megan, pull that light closer, right up close. Yeah.
Is that closer?
That's good. That's better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be excited to show you a shop walkthrough, and our friend Carter is going to help us so that Mom and I can have maybe lapel mics so that we won't have the stress that we've had in the past with the shop walkthroughs where I feel like I can't speak or read your comments or, Mom and I can talk back and forth and,
Well, and the funny thing is, it's like, I always think, like, I should be able to do this. You know what I mean? I should be able to figure this out. I have figured out so many things.
Yes, you have.
And it's like, well, wait a minute. I can figure this out. But the truth of the matter is, it's exhausting to me. It's exhausting. And so
I have no doubt that if
we'll let Carter do it.
I have no doubt that if you gave it your focus that you could figure it out. You're very smart and you are very, very tech savvy. Really, you are. But you have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Okay, we all have a lot to do.
A lot to do.
On this very small team. So it's important to
Yeah.
delegate where we can.
Yeah. And it's right. I mean, it's true. Dang. Running this little creative business that is just for fun. Well, it's not just for fun. It literally
I can't even believe you just
provides an
I was
income.
going to say.
Because if it was just for fun, I literally would be home just journaling and making cute stuff with Tim Holtz and IOD, and I'd be buying it from one of you, and, so.
We just are blessed that it provides a living for us, and it's also fun. That is nice. But we're also lucky that our family, in this case our extended family, Carter so happens to be the best friend of my two oldest boys, Jonathan and Augie, that he went to school like Jonathan for film, but he's really great with lighting and sound, so he can really help us here.
So when JR built this little house, here's what's so cool. Like, and he has made many different little houses for me, and I love every one of them. I'm always sending him pictures of antique ones that are way out of my price range, right? That we could never, ever justify purchasing for our own collection. And I'm like, can you make this for me? I can make it look old. So that's kind of what he does, and it's been a long time since he has made a little house for me. So it's really fun for me to try to reimagine this, and he really does try to use stuff that he's already got laying around, you know? I just need to get this dry. I should have brushed this on beforehand, but I couldn't think straight. I've been working on my traveling art journal pages and that video, and I am so excited about it. I hope that you'll find a lot of value in it. And whether you whether you use that subscription or not from Elsie Lane, by all means, know that this will be an awesome video that you can use no matter what you're journaling in. And I'm just so happy to do that. I really am.
Carla said it's hard to hear. So
yeah, right now I got this going on. Sorry, Carla. I'm almost done.
Is that why, Carla? Was it because of the heat gun? Or just in general, you're having a hard time hearing in this new space? Mara says she's been trying to reach you, Mom.
I know, Mara. Oh my gosh. When I'm done, I'll give you a call. How about that? So sorry about the heat gun sound. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get this all dry so that we can apply our cracking paste. And I think we're good. Okay, cracking paste. Cracking paste is right here. Love this stuff. All right. So I am going to use just a palette knife. And then I'm going to look for those kind of glossy, shiny areas where I had applied and get any big dried goobers out of there. Where I had already applied the primer. And it's going to depend on how thick you apply this, how big the cracks are. The thicker you apply it.
Mary Jo says just some lighting feedback. When Lynn's looking at the camera, there's a blue reflection on her glasses.
Oh, really? Jeez.
But we really haven't done anything with the lighting yet.
Oh.
We really just moved our old lighting over here. So that's good to know.
It is good to know. And when we play this back, Carter can give us some input and
I'll be able to look at it. And it seems like we should turn this, I don't know. It seems like this, like when it's facing you, no, not that.
Oh.
Like it's pointing into the shop and not like straight on.
What?
Into
This?
the studio, yeah.
Oh.
Like when it's facing you. We'll work it all out. This is our first try.
So this stuff is really cool. You're going to see it start to crack right away, usually.
Annie says she's crackle challenged. Would you think this is a great one to try if you're struggling with crackle? Like this would be the easiest one?
If you like lots of texture, Annie, this one is easy. If you want to grab me a couple of my sample boards that I have.
Of just this kind?
Yeah. I can show them some other. Oops. And if it gets on there, it doesn't matter if it gets on the other parts. If it doesn't crackle, that's fine. It'll just be texture on there. And again, I may miss some. I love this stuff. Oh, I love this stuff. But this is ultra thick on here. and then I applied some different colors to it. But look, I mean, I built that up so thick and big, giant crevices and cracks. So neat. Mira, I think I did that when you and I were down at Teresa's a few years ago, as I recall.
I want to live in a tiny house too, Barbara, but I think I'd have to live alone.
Well, you always said one for you and one for David.
Yes, that's
and
fine.
he could come when you
When
asked
he's
him to
invited,
come over.
and I don't ever need to go to his.
That's right. I was watching an episode of, because, aren't we all a little obsessed with tiny house living? Well, maybe you all aren't, but I am. But I just love this one episode. It was a couple who got married. They were, a little older in their lives. And what was so neat is they decided they were too old to just start living together. Like that was just going to be out of the question, right? So they each got a tiny house, and then I don't know where they put them, some kind of a tiny house living complex, and they actually had like a common area, big patio area on like between them. So they bought like 3 lots. Right. They bought 3 lots, and the middle lot was a big patio with outdoor eating space, and it was just it was really nice. And the agreement was when they got married that he had to go over and he had to prepare her coffee every morning and breakfast. And he had to wait until she heard from him as far as whether she was up or not. And then she would kind of get herself situated, and he would come over, make her breakfast, make her coffee for her, and they would either enjoy it at her place or they go out on the patio. Isn't that lovely? I think that is the loveliest
thing. But then what did she do for him? I forgot.
I can't
There
remember.
was some kind of exchange, I thought.
Who knows? maybe.
There was more to that story, as I recall.
Well, maybe more than what we want to know.
No, it was not like that. Deborah said, "Is this lovely house for Megan and her girls?" First of all, no. I'm certain that it would not be. But also, Deborah, those little girls that you see do not belong to me. Those are my nieces, Hattie and Mabel. They are my brother's daughters. I actually have 4 sons. Carla said, "As if you don't share enough, it'd be cool to have pictures of sample boards with the recipe for how you achieve the look, of course, in your copious spare time."
Maybe we'll do that someday, and maybe then you could actually. I mean, I do have a lot of sample boards.
Yeah.
Back there of the different crackles and different things, and I work at them to continue building them. But the crackle has been the most important. But we've been talking about even for local ladies, like doing like a Pentart passport. So you come in, try the technique, and but yeah, it's something we talk about, and we continue to kind of like hash out details and so forth. But maybe you would like to do that as well.
Oh, you think they look just like me, Deborah? Thank you for saying so. I think they're awful cute.
They are adorable.
If you saw their mom and dad, you might not think that.
That's so rude.
No, that they look. You might not think that they look just like me.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you meant that you might not think they look cute.
No.
I was like, wait, what?
You might not think that they look just like me if you saw their mom and dad.
All right, so I can't remember if I put any on the door jambs here, but you know what? We'll spread a little bit of this on anyway.
But I do adore them.
They are cuties. Cuties and patooties. So what's going to happen if I don't get my cracking paste over these areas where I have cracking medium? Nothing. I might spread my paint over it and it might just go ahead and crack some more there in a different way. We'll see.
Deborah, if you're in our insider group on Christmas, I posted a picture of my 4 boys.
Okay. So I think that's looking chunky enough. All right, I got to go back to this heat gun, you guys. I'm so sorry. Oh, but you can see it's already cracking right there. So this should not take long. I'm going to try to smooth this out.
Kat says, good deal for her. My husband would never be intentionally separated from me. I, on the other hand, would enjoy the respite. You know, I hear that story quite a bit, Kat.
Yeah, right? They have a totally different perspective.
Uh-huh.
I'm just going to smooth this out a little bit. Just a little. And hopefully, when this is all said and done, it's going to look like something. I'm going to try to turn away for a minute with this. I wish I could show you. Oh, I see the blue that you're seeing. Hold on. Is that better? That might be a little bit better. But yeah, still have a lot of things to change. So what do you think? Could you live in a tiny house?
Barbara says, I have a best friend who for years has talked about an enclave for those who are widows, who each had their own little house and then a clubhouse where all could gather for meals, movie nights, etc. I think that's so wonderful.
Haven't we also talked about how fun it would be to have Ellen J. Good's camp, like an actual camp with campers and cabins and
yes.
Oh boy, wouldn't that be amazing?
I think we called it a commune.
The commune,
yes.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Oh, Deborah said, my hand rests on my husband's heart every night. I would miss him.
Oh,
you're sweet.
It really is sweet. I love that.
I think those of us who want a little break, it isn't that we don't love our husbands.
No.
We just also cherish some time alone.
Yes, absolutely.
And time to miss them. Everybody's different.
Yes, I would agree with that.
And some people are more introverted and really need time alone to recharge.
Would you say you're introverted or extroverted, Megan?
I think they say that you know whether you need time alone to recharge or whether you need time around other people to recharge.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's hard for me because I like both of those things. I feel like I like a little of both of those things. Also, I feel like I haven't been alone in 25 years, so I don't know how that feels.
Yeah, right.
But I think you also necessarily cannot judge the way you see people acting around others. Like, just because they don't come off as shy does not necessarily mean that they are extroverted.
Oh, exactly. Or because they come off on screen in a certain way,
Right.
you cannot assume that those of us who are maybe comfortable on screen are necessarily comfortable one-on-one or in a group.
It's, you could assume the opposite.
Yeah. Okay, this is a little more of that fresco that I'm just kind of patching in here and there, and I'm going to be going over this then. But I hope you can see these crackles. Can you see them? See these? Oh my gosh. So I want to be careful about how I am applying my paint in those areas.
Leslie lives in 800 square feet. She loves it. She says the biggest drawback is that she only has one stinking closet.
Oh, right. We live in 850 square feet, Leslie.
I do always tell you that's not fair to say, though.
Well, in the winter, yeah, it's exactly.
I mean, it is true where it's, you guys really, the two of you cannot get away from each other inside there.
Oh, no.
But as far as like your stuff is concerned, you definitely have like ways and places to store your things besides that space. Lisa says, my husband and I lived in a 30-foot fifth wheel every May through October for 10 years for work. Wow. I'm curious what you did for a living. Kat says, I could live in a tiny house if I had a large studio next door. That's right. Like, that's kind of like what Mom does.
Mm-hmm.
Kat Del Rio says, I live in a 900 soft craftsman bungalow. It's an adorable nightmare. I'd give anything for a freaking closet. Just one.
Oh, yeah.
So no, I need more space.
I'll tell you, the house we had before was a craftsman, and it was the most incredible house. The closets were literally big enough to hold like an entire twin bed and more. They were huge. Gosh, I love them. In fact, I have my sewing room in one of them.
Melissa raised her family in an 800 square foot house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sweet Melissa. Wow.
Deborah was the CEO of a company and had to function in an extrovert role and hated it. I bet that really dreamed you, Deborah. Barbara wants to know if there's a contrast to determine what color the house will be.
The house is going to be white. Okay.
Oh, Lisa's husband was an equine veterinarian, so they worked in Erie, PA. So you just went from place to place in that fifth wheel.
That's interesting.
Erie, PA is not far from us.
No. I went to school at Edinburgh. And I did a student internship at one of the Erie Public Schools.
Melissa, you say what's wrong with you. I'm sure you were just like making do with what you had at the time.
So you're going to see these cracks kind of show up my next step when I use some glaze. Remember, I am going for a very old, rustic look. This might not be something for you. I get it. That's okay.
Oh, they were at the racetrack in Erie.
But I definitely want this to have some different shades of finish, and we're going to add, oh my gosh, that cracking situation going on up there is amazing. Like, I don't know what color I'm going to paint the door. I probably will paint the door a color, but I don't know what color. I might just make it black. I don't know. but all the rest is going to be like one of those wonderful little, almost like a little Greek revival-ish vibe is what I'm getting from this.
Equine Sports Medicine, thoroughbred racehorses, only press style downs. I love press style.
Oh,
They've only been retired 3 years. Vicky lives in a 1,000-foot mobile home.
so cool, right?
She said as a crafter, the storage is an ongoing challenge.
I'm sure. You know, many years ago in a magazine, and I don't remember what one or where I found it, I have since, like a few years back, found the actual article, but it featured someone who took like just a mobile home and literally transformed it into the most beautiful white interior. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. She totally redid the whole thing. Okay, so I am just about done with that. Oh my gosh. Got to do the inside of the windows. You know what? I know all about window restoration now.
Of course.
And if you didn't see us do the last episode, they removed the windows from the 3rd floor. People are making so many guesses as to what we're going to do up on that 3rd floor. I'm going to tell you right now, nothing.
Yeah, right now, nothing.
Nothing.
We're just going to be very happy that there are functioning, good windows up there.
Yes. But, yeah, watch it. It's only like a 6-minute video, but at the end I get suited up in actual Tyvek to go into their finishing room. So that was fun. I'm learning so much.
It is cool. It's cool for me to see what goes on at my husband's job. I think we've talked about this before here, how so many of us, not you, Lisa, now I know that you were right there with your husband at work every day, and Mom, obviously. But lots of us don't really actually know what our husbands are up to.
Right? I know. Well, how long? I mean, Megan, I would say, what would you say exactly David does? And she's like, I haven't a clue.
Well, he's always, you know him, he's always making up his own jobs.
and
Figuring things out.
And the people he works for loves it.
Yes.
Love it.
So, it's very cool to see what he's done there.
Yeah. Like, before last week, I didn't know that this was called a mutton right here. I did not know.
No.
Couldn't tell you why it's called that. So I'm going to use this for a little storage box for the cottage. And it's going to sit on the bookshelves that are on either side of the TV and fireplace. And so if you saw some of the neutral, like Christmas decor videos that I did on YouTube, like I made over like a bread box with a German grain sack stencil of ours. And like just yesterday, I also have that, you know, that tinsel Christmas tree that I did with all of the glass baubles and ornaments. That it's like I don't want to just stuff that in a box somewhere, so I put it in that bread box and it sits on the shelf, and so it's in a nice safe place, and I love that.
Kat wants to know, do you need to seal this before you glaze it?
Yes, I am. Well, Fusion has a built-in top coat, but yes, Kat, that is exactly what I'm going to do.
So why are you going to do that if the Fusion has...
Because it'll give me a little bit more slip with my medium, with my glazing gel. I'm going to be using I think 3 different Pentart glazing mediums today.
It's a triple
glaze. Not to be confused with how you glaze windows, okay?
No.
Yeah.
Annie wants to know if that house could be used as storage.
Yes, Annie, that's exactly what I just talked about. This is a storage box. The roof goes on top, obviously, and I'll be using this at my cottage for storage. And so Kat brings up a really good point. Even though Fusion has a built-in top coat, I have a lot of the Crackle texture medium on there. And so that is a kind of a chalky base. And I want to be able to really control how my glaze goes on and off. So yes, I am going to get this dry, and then we will go ahead and we will put our glazes on. So I'm just going to do this with a Fusion matte tough coat. I do like the Fusion matte a lot. We're going to do the door later. Well, let me just at least give it a coat of white, since I've got my brush wet. Oh, you know what? JR just taped that in. Genius! So I can actually remove that door, which is great. I know that's just taped in, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Wow, that is looking better already. Okay, so we are going to get this dried. You know why? I'm not used to, I'm up high, and then this is high, so.
Hi, Linda.
I know you're gonna hear this dryer for a minute. But I hope you can see. Can you see that crackle? Isn't that beautiful? See it on the window? I love this. It truly looks like layers and layers of old paint.
Bravo.
What's that?
Bravo. That's good.
Does it? You like?
Well, that way I don't need to pick out true old wood anymore, do I, honey?
Yeah, we still like using old wood. I just want to make sure this is dry, and then we're going to add a Fusion top coat in a matte finish. Yeah, this is gotta be. Oh, I am really
Struggling with that.
I'm just struggling with
Getting used to it.
getting used to all of this and getting the right angles without making people go seasick.
You're doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Is it all right?
Definitely hasn't been too bumpy.
Okay.
Almost like I need a gyro type thing where it's...
Yeah.
So with Fusion or any kind of matte sealer, well, most kinds of matte sealer, the mattifying agents sink to the bottom when you're sitting it on a shelf like this. So what I like to do is turn it upside down for several minutes, even a half hour or so, and kind of let those mattifying agents settle down to the bottom. And then I just gently swirl it. I don't want to shake it because you don't want a lot of bubbles in there. So I'm literally just like swirling it, no shaky, just swirling. And then I'll put some in a little container. And here's what I want you to notice. When I apply this, oh, that's the one I can move. Get it up higher. See, got some new equipment going on. So what I can do, I don't want there to be so much of this that it's going to sink into these cracks too much. I'm really going over this with a very light touch. And why is that? Is because I don't want those cracks filling up with the medium. I just want there to be a little bit of slip to this for when I apply those glazes. Yeah, so this door comes out so I can paint it separately. That'll make life a little easier. I don't know what color. I'll probably keep it kind of pale, you know.
Winchester.
Winchester? No, I'm not.
It's like home.
No.
Guess what color?
Yeah, right. What color should I paint the door, you guys? Tell me.
Let's see it out.
So a very small amount on my brush. I'm almost, I don't want to say dry brushing, but kind of like dry brushing over the surface so those cracks stay open. So we want our glazes to fall right into those cracks. Okay. Missed a little there, and it also helps to dry things more quickly. Chair's got to go home and make sure the generator is set up and all of that good stuff. Okay. All right. As always, I probably used about an 1/8 of a teaspoon of medium.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my gosh. Alrighty. So we'll kind of let that dry on its own a bit. And then let me show you. I'm going to be using 3 different glazes. We have the Antiquing Gel Ochre. We have Antiquing Gel Umber. And we have Antiquing Gel Black. All right. So let's get out the umber first.
Not a storm, Catherine. We just have like these 65-mile-an-hour winds and then a little bit of snow. So then
And it blows.
That combination makes visibility kind of, you don't need much snow for that kind of wind to make it impossible to see. And then that kind of wind, of course, makes things happen with power lines and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not super cold, so that's good.
So I'm going to grab a little brush here, and I'm just going to pour a little bit of this right into that container. A little bit in there. And I'll scoop a little bit of the umber in there as well. Don't need a lot of this. And I've got some water in my brush. Gotta dry just a touch there. Most of this is already dry, so it'll only take a second. So obviously you couldn't use this cracking paste over like a decoupage paper or a transfer because it's opaque. Unless you just applied it around the edges, you know. But this is two parts, so you've got the medium, the primer, and then you've got that nice thick coat of the cracking paste, which is white, as you saw, and that will give some it's very opaque. So here's what I'm going to do. I am just taking a very watery mix of this, and I'm going to get a little baby wipe handy, and I'm going to start to pull this back a bit.
A lot of people are saying chippy green on the door, leaving some wood maybe showing through.
Okay. So I can add like some extra grunge of the umber like into the corners. And underneath. But I'm always adding water to my brush before I start to apply this. And I have a baby wipe handy so that I can remove any excess. But that umber also just gives it a really pretty, pretty. I love when we were talking about dirt and pretty.
I know, I was going to say those photos or those colors. Interesting choice of words.
Mm-hmm. It just
Grungy,
gives a little more yellow undertones as well, which I like. So let me get some of that here. I want lots of water. That water is going to help it also to move down into those cracks. So you see, we're trying to create a look that has developed over time. Many years of dirt.
Oh, yeah, Carla, that would be nice. I don't think it'll work for this desk. She says, you know what you might like? My desk in my craft room has a crank where I can change the height.
Oh my gosh,
It's
wouldn't that be
I bought it at Home
ideal?
Depot, yes. This is when we do a walkthrough, you'll see why that would not work in this case.
This is fantastic. So some of that white is nicely showing through as well. Again, nice watery mix. So that glaze settles right. Oh, you have to leave?
Yeah. It's
Oh, is it 2:30 already? Oh my gosh. Okay, guys.
Time flies when you're painting a tiny house.
That's right. We're almost done anyway, but isn't that neat? So you can really achieve some beautiful varying effects. And I'm loving it. I am loving it. It really does look like it's old as dirt here. Okay. You know, I got the black out. I don't know if I'm going to use the black. We'll see. Yeah, maybe I'll try. I might try some black, like on the stoop. We shall see. Liking it so far? What do you think? Tell me what you think, you guys. This might not be the look for you. I get it. This is definitely the look for me. See, I'm leaving it a little darker, kind of in the cracks along the bottom, and or not in the cracks, but like right up next to the door. There's a little more of that real dark umber. And you can just move this around with that baby wipe. There's another area where we're gonna sink some of that glaze right in there, that nice watery glaze. We're gonna sink it right into those cracks right there. And the nice thing about this too is you start with a little, you can always add more. Oh, but there it is. There it is. See that? I hope you can see that. And you can layer these glazes over top of each other. Loving the look. Very much. It's really a nice, like a nice antiquing option for you. I might add some of that to that door and let's see what happens. But I'm looking for any places where I have like any that might have dripped. This is actually a piece of old wood right here. So I'm kind of blending that, creating that shadow right down along the bottom. That's where I may add a little more of the black. Let's open that up. See what we have here. Okay, let me take a little bit of this. You need the heat gun for the crackle. No, actually, Annie, no. Sometimes of course, it's going to help things along, but no, you don't have to have a heat gun for the crackle. And there's that black. Let's add a little of that to the door stop, or this door stoop. Yep, 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 yep. For sure. Again, one more layer of age. This is great as a stain. So that'll kind of seal up this area right here. So when JR made this, he had originally made this little framework of a house, and we had it sitting up in the corner of our workshop here for years. And so he just used that framework to try to add to it. And yeah, we had to do a little random fiddling and fussing with it, but it's for us, for home, so no biggie. But there, we can intensify that. And it just adds that other layer of like something other than brown. And I like it. When you are doing like a faux texture, like an antique faux finish or whatever, you know, it's all about the layers. You really do have to allow it to develop over time through those layers. Okay, I am digging it, and I'm going to add some to my rooftop. So there's the trifecta right here, the black, umber, and ochre. Those are the ones right there. And look, I have so much left that I can use for my roof, which I'm going to do right now. Okay. Let's get that. Remember, I didn't put any crackle up here on this dental molding. I only did fresco. So I didn't put a sealer over this, and it's coming back okay. I would just hesitate to do that over the Pentar cracking paste. I would definitely make sure that you give that a nice quick seal with a polyacrylic. Dang, that looks so old. Look at that. Isn't that something? Let me grab some of that black again. And this is going to be a good way for me to darken the roof. I'm just going to use this almost like a paint. These are like little wood planks here. But the roof was such a light gray that we want to definitely give that some age. I didn't put any finish on this and kind of see what happens. I like that gray look, but it was too light for me. And this will help to just give it a little more age. I get such a kick out of this stuff. I really do. It's so fun. Lots of water. Lots of water. So imagine the possibilities. Find a dollhouse like on Marketplace or wherever, and just think of the things that you could do to it to make it look really old. Love this. Okay. Definitely gives it some age, doesn't it? There it is, you guys. Gonna add a little bit of that black up on here. Oh, that's so good. I just love this. What a difference. Let me put that down and show you guys. Like, isn't that amazing? What a difference. Look at that. Look at that. That is so cool. That is all with cracking paste, fresco, and those 3 different glazes. Like, I could not be happier with this. Oh my gosh. I just want to keep going, you guys. And in fact, I probably will. Since I've got all my supplies out, I'm probably going to stick around here for a little while until the wind really starts to blow and finish this guy off so I can take it home and use it. But there it is. Crackle and all. How about that? What do you think? What could you do to make it look like there's moss on the shingles? Oh, Pat, you could add, you know, a little bit of like, you could add maybe some fusion lichen paint or something, you know, that mossy green. I mean, you could use the Pentart Moss Effects, but it's going to really give you like a 3-dimensional look if that's what you want. That wouldn't be what I would want for this piece. So, but yeah, you could definitely just stipple on some, yeah, I would say just like a mossy green acrylic paint. That's what I would do. Do you love it? So awesome. Looks like a little historical cottage. Yes, Del Rey, that is what I had hoped for. Thank you. I got to get my lid on right here. And Jair had to build this just right. Kind of fit, the top kind of fits in like a puzzle. There it goes. Okay. Yeah, this is so cool. I am really, really happy with this. So happy with it. I cannot wait to take a picture of it. But you guys, thank you so much for bearing with us today. We're gonna continue to work on our space here, and hopefully we'll have it all worked out for you so that you can watch our videos without any lighting or audio issues, okay? All right. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. And we'll see you on Wednesday, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.